Melf here again with the second of the game's tutorial levels. I'm going to be talking right over Athena this time because she's not going to say anything really important about this part of the game. She's going to leave out a lot of really critical stuff that I wish I had known earlier. So this mission is about collecting resources and building things, which is really the heart of the game. It's more a game of economies than it is of militaries. So here they'll be teaching us about villagers, resources, and town centers, which are what the game really revolves around. Those are the things that support your army so that you actually train your troops that will do the actual winning for you in the end. So here we have a town center, the most important building. You'll have one of these pretty much every mission. You've got to defend it, because this is what produces your villagers who go out and gather all the resources that you'll build your army with. Luckily, it's a very sturdy kind of building. You can see it has 2,800 hit points down here, very high, large amounts of armor too, and a solid attack it can defend itself with. Your town center usually won't lose as long as you know what you're doing. And it can train villagers here. It costs 50 food each. 50 food is an important number to remember. Down here you have the progress, whatever your structure is, building. You can, cancel progress and get your resources back anytime you want to until it finishes. And when the villager finishes, it'll spawn from the town center and walk to wherever I put this flag. You can use that flag trick to teleport villagers around in a couple different ways, which I'll show you later on.
To gather resources,
for example, I have a villager here now, right? I can order my villager to run into the town center, kick it back out, and it's over there faster than it could have walked there too.
With a villager selected, right-click on one of the goats.
So,
the villager will gather food.
The game has three basic resources displayed down here. There's food, wood, and gold. Your villagers gather those things from various objects in the environment. Food is gathered from things like farms, or animals like pigs or goats. Gold is gathered from gold mines, which look a bit like this. Wood is gathered from trees. You need some combination of these three resources to build anything in the game. Now I'll order my peasant to harvest from this goat. So it kills the goat,
well done.
And then starts collecting
food. The villager will continue to gather food until you tell him to stop, or he runs out of goats.
The amount of food the villager currently has is displayed down there. When it hits about 10, usually it'll return to the town center.
Look,
that number changes with various upgrades.
Villagers have come to help gather resources. Select another villager and put
Let me just note that some of the villagers are men, some are women, but this is entirely cosmetic. So, you can order some villagers to harvest wood, some to harvest gold, some to harvest food, whatever you want. On this mission, we need to collect 100 of each of the three basic resources. Now, I want you to notice something. I'm going to move one peasant over here to gold, one peasant over here to wood, knock down that tree but not start harvesting it just yet. You see, no wood accumulates yet. Now, okay.
If you're ever unsure about what
to
do next, check the
order that one to harvest gold, that one to harvest wood.
Flashing objectives banner to see your current goal.
You notice this peasant gets about 2 wood per strike, right? Whereas this peasant gets 1 gold per strike. And so what you'll notice over time is, although the game doesn't tell you anything about it, actually the resource harvesting rates are different. One gets wood much faster than one gets gold or food. Food is usually the slowest of all, especially food from farms. That's important information which one can't really find out without looking this up online. For now, I'll order more peasants to join into these harvesting activities. Now, a big part of the game is just getting your food income high enough that you can keep training peasants continuously. This button over here will train whatever thing you order the building to make endlessly, as long as it can. So if I click that and click that, the building will now construct peasants as long as I have resources to do so, one at a time. I don't actually want to do that on this mission, but I will on most of the ones later on. So oftentimes you'll see me get just enough food income that I can make peasants continuously, and then task them to just go get wood and gold instead. Now besides the 3 basic resources, there are 2 different ones. Population here isn't harvested. Instead, your peasants have to build things called houses that let you support additional population. Every type of unit in the game costs some of it. Villagers cost 1, most soldiers cost 2 or more. If you're up at your population cap, which you see right now is 35, you can't train any additional troops. This is a key part of strategy later on in the game because it limits how big your army can be, but I'll talk more about that later. Lastly, and this is the last focus of this mission too, you can construct a temple building.
Notice the buttons at the bottom left side of the screen.
From which your village can harvest the last resource, favor. Favor isn't used for many things, but it's used for important stuff. Use favor to get myth units and mythological special technologies and improvements. Myth units are often your most powerful troop types, various kinds of monsters that can just lay waste to enemy armies if you use them correctly.
Additional
So,
worshippers will
for the
make your
Greeks, and
favor
only for the
rise
Greeks,
more rapidly.
you get favor by
Select
having your
additional
villagers worship at
villagers,
temples,
then right-click
just
the
like it's some
temple.
other kind of resource they're harvesting, but it never runs out. This is another thing the game will never tell you. Multiple villagers can work at the same temple at the same time, but the favor generation rate decreases, or rather increases at a decreasing rate. So 2 peasants are not twice as fast as 1 peasant.
Μάλιστα.
Similarly,
Βούλο.
multiple peasants can work on building something, such as this house here.
Ναι.
But the building rate is not double. And the more villagers you add to that project, the less increase each new one adds. So if you need to build one thing very, very fast, yes, it's good to have multiple peasants work on it. But if what you really need is to get multiple buildings done quickly, with no one being the priority, it's actually best to have them build separate things. Like have this person build that house, and that person build that house. It's much better than having both of them work on this house than both work on that one. You'll see me do that later on.
Ναι.
For now, I'll just finish harvesting favor and win the mission. Which I do when I get
Your
5
offerings
favor.
have pleased the gods.
And that's it. So, I'll continue learning to make these recordings better. Please stick with me for next time. Have a good day.